Hi, Lore.
Hi, Chris. How are you?
Fine.
Perfect. Okay. Excellent, Chris. So now let's start. Okay. Let's start with this. I will show you. Let's go to the book. I saw your score. It was great. It was great. You had like little mistakes, right? It was little. It wasn't too much. But today we're going to see about, well, first of all, I will assign you all about the we have, okay, about the tasks. So we're gonna go to the assignment part in order to see that you have all assigned. And let's go here. And this is. Okay, where is this? Okay, could you see, Chris, the assignments?
Yes.
Okay, everything about unit 1, right?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So now we're going to see this following. Mm. Okay. Okay, so today we will see about pronunciation. Okay, how we use the exactly pronunciation way, structure in some cases. So I am sharing you this document. And we have, maybe you are going to see some grammars that you are going to find, for example, during this module. But let's see about this. When we talk about pronunciation, let's start first of all, about the stressed and unstressed words, okay? Why this part? Because if you can see in some parts, you have, for example, in listenings, in podcasts, in videos, you are going to see that in some sentences, there are some parts that the voice of the person is up, and in some parts the voice is down, right? So it could be fallen or it could be rising. So we are going to see in what kind of cases we could use this, okay? Let's see. Let's start by this. We have like the first part where we are going to find the stressed or unstressed words. It could be in words, just in words. It could be in sentences, in complete sentences, or even though in paragraphs. The most common ones, it is in words and phrases. Okay, so what do we have here? We have the intonation. It says that it is a good challenge for people who we are not native, right? We are not native speakers in English. So we have to try to identify and try to use which is the correct way in order to use the intonation. So let's start with the first one. Let's see this. We have to see that there are 3 types of intonation. What does it mean, intonation? When we have a falling intonation or we have a rising intonation. The voice of the person, the speaker, is going to be fall or is going to be rise. So let's see these ones. When we're going to see this part, for example, let's try to see in a paragraph. Chris, could you tell me, for example, what you did on the weekend, last weekend?
Yes. Last weekend, I stayed in my house with my parents. I went to the shopping with a friend. I visited um, exposition about bodies, real bodies, in the shopping center, and I did my English homeworks, and I I prepared my classes for the next week.
Okay, great, excellent, perfect. So in this case, we are using or we used phrases, right? Like sentences. And when we're gonna use it, let's start by seeing this. In the paragraph is really, really common. Let's see the first part, that it is the falling intonation. What is the falling intonation? In English, we're gonna say that this is the most common. Why the most common? Because in many parts, many sentences, many commands, or even though in questions, when we end the part of the sentence or the question, we always are going to be like very calm. So we're going to use the falling intonation. And how we can detect this? For example, when you were saying what you did last weekend, you said many sentences, right? Many sentences. So for example, here, it is like a list of some things. I like your haircut. So this is like no rice, but this is normal. I like your haircut. So haircut, it's really full. We moved to New York. They have 3 cats. He was born in September. So always, always the last word, just a word, the last word of a sentence, it's gonna be really low. Really, we're gonna read it like really slow. For example, on Saturday, I cooked pasta. After this, I studied for my test. Also, I went to the museum. And after this, I came back to home. And finally, I ate some pizza. Okay, so always the last words, we're gonna fall or we're gonna read it like in a slow way. Okay, so with this, in all your sentences that you used, Chris, please, could you say again what you did the last weekend, but using all the words, the final words in your sentence, really slow or really low or fall.
Okay, on the last week, I stayed in my home. I on Sunday I went to the shopping and I visited a exposition about bodies and I returned my house. I prepared my classes and I did my English homework.
Excellent, very good. So you use the last words really fall. It is great. Okay, perfect, excellent. Now, so the second, this is in a paragraph because we know that a paragraph is composed by many sentences, right? So always in a paragraph, in all the sentences, we're going to use the last word really slow or fall. And that is the intonation in a paragraph. When we say commands, for example, when we have to give some orders, go to your, and many people, for example, that are learning English, they used to use this last word, but in a rising way. Go to your room. That's really bad. Bring me my keys. So no, it's bad. Go to your room. Bring me my keys. Open the door. Help me carry these stairs, right? So always we use the rise intonation in the last words, okay? And finally, the third part that we have here, it is in questions, WH questions. Because in WH questions, we use this, who, what, when, where, and we are looking for more information. This happens just with WH questions. All questions that starts with WH. Who is that man? Right? So, because we are making questions, always with WH questions, we use the last word in a full way. Okay? So now let's do this part. Could you read these examples, please, Chris?
Yes, I like your haircut.
Haircut. Cabello, hair.
Haircut.
Haircut.
I like your haircut. We moved to New York.
Yeah.
They have 3 cats. He was born in September.
Excellent. Very good. When we say commands, let's read these sentences.
Go to your room. Bring me my case. Open the door. Help me carry this upstairs.
Okay, great. WH questions.
Who is that man? What is your name? When will you be home? Where are you going? Why does he look sad? Who are you feeling?
Okay, great. Very, very good. Excellent. So we don't have to forget this, okay? So now, when we talk about the rising intonation, in what kind of cases we could use the rising intonation? We're going to use in this way, in these ways. And this is the really, really common. When we have yes, no questions, okay? Yes, no questions. Here was with WH questions, falling intonation. Yes, no questions, rising intonation at the end of the word, okay? For example, do you like pizza? Are you Christian? So always, always the last word is gonna be raised. Do you like soccer? Okay, so we use the rising. We don't say, do you like soccer? No, that is falling. Okay, do you like soccer? Okay, are you Christian? Okay, we don't say, are you Christian? No, that's really Spanish. Okay, so always we have to like to raise the intonation, like loud our voice in the last word. Okay, so this is the first one, and just no questions. Okay, so for example, if I say some question and you have to answer me, for example, do you learn English? Okay, yes, I do. And the answer is going to be the following, okay? Because we said that in sentences or comments, always we are going to we're going to fall the last word. So, do you learn English? Yes, I do, right? So in my sentences, then my question and my answers that it is similar to a sentence, we use the following, okay? So that is the thing. Now, about the other case. It is in the tag questions. So we already saw what is a tag question, right? We said that we always have to identify the auxiliary, and we have to change the positive to negative, or maybe the opposite, the negative here, the positive here. So that is the tag question we said, right? So this part, we have to know this. We studied English together. This is like a sentence. We have to mix it. We have to mix it like here. So we say, we studied English together, didn't we? So we raise our voice here. Okay, we rise. You are Christine, aren't you? So we fall and we rise. Okay, so let's try to read these questions. Christine, the just no questions and after the tag questions.
Are you a Gemini?
Yeah.
Do you want to watch a film?
Mm-hmm.
Is he your friend? May
Okay.
I use the bathroom?
Okay, great, excellent. Tag questions. Here is the falling, and here is the rising.
We studied English together, didn't we? You want to go to the park, don't you? The weather is so nice, isn't it? He likes bowling, doesn't he?
Okay, perfect, excellent, excellent. So falling here, rising here, right? And it's great, it's great. So that's why you are going to see, for example, many native speakers that they sometimes they talk, or when they ask you something, they are going to loud, right, in the last word. So that's why this. So always we rise and we loud in the intonation here, and we rise and we fall here. Okay. Now, after this, we have this, the flat or unchaining intonation. Something similar to these ones, but it is like a mixed way, okay? When in a sentence, in a big sentence, when we have options, when we should rise and when we should fall, okay? In this part, we're going to see this. Then we have like 3 patterns, okay? Patterns. It is like a 3 list of intonation. The first one, it was the falling. This is the rising, and this is the flat. When we rise, when we fall, okay? So when is it going to happen this? It says that when we have options, this is really, really common when we have like either or when we talk about options. It could be in questions also. It could be in a list, okay? Or it could be in conditional statements. Let's see some examples. The first one, when we have many options. You can have either, because either means o, right? O. And we have always this either is going to work with another or. And these 2 words means o. Tú puedes tener o el pescado o la carne. So we use either or when we talk about 2 options. Okay, so you can have either the fish or the beef. Okay, so we rise with the first option and we fall with the second option. Here in questions, when we have options, do you want to go hiking or fishing? So rise and fall. Is she, and we rise, a student or a teacher? Okay, so here, is the football game on Saturday or Sunday? So we have these 4 ones, okay? So could you read these, please, Chris?
You can have either the fish or the beef. Do you want to go hiking or fishing? Is he a student or a teacher? Is the football game on Saturday or Sunday?
Excellent. Very good. When we talk about options in sentences, options in questions, right? Excellent. Now, here, when we talk about lists, the same, because we have many things. But when we have a list, always the first ones, the first options, first, second, third, all the options, we're going to rise the intonation. And always in the last one, okay, in the last one, we are going to fall in the last option. For example, here, if I have 3 books, 2 pencils, 1 ruler, and 1 eraser, okay, 2. I like swimming, dancing, and play tennis. The apartment includes 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and a kitchen. 4. He ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Okay, so always when we have a list, when we have options, we keep all the options first in the right way, and we fall with the last option. Okay, so let's see, Chris. Let's read.
I have 3 books, 3 pencils, 1 ruler, and 1 eraser. I like swimming, dancing, and play tennis. The apartment includes two bedrooms, and a kitchen. He ate breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Excellent. Perfect. Excellent. So finally, in this flat way, we have the conditional statements. Okay, so what does it refer conditional statements? When we didn't see yet these conditionals, but we're gonna see it in the next book. Okay, so it is when we have like two options, like two, for example, ways of making conditions. If you do something, you are going to have like a recompense. So cows, we have the cows and we have the result. Okay, that is about the conditionals. But when we talk about the conditionals, always we have, or we use two sentences. Okay, and the first sentence after the comma, because both are like separated by commas, we have like the first one. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. So in conditionals, always we have two clauses. First clause, and after the comma, it is the second clause. So in the first clause, the last word, we always are going to raise the voice. And in the last word, this the second sentence, we're going to fall the voice, the intonation. Okay. If you keep having pain, put eyes on it. If you're happy, I'm happy. If he wants to come, he needs to start packing. Okay. So always we have like two sentences. Okay. So let's read it.
If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. If you keep having pain, put eyes on it. If you're happy, I'm happy. If he wants to come, he needs to start baking.
Excellent. Excellent. Very good. So that is the way how we're going to mix with conditions and using the intonation. Finally, about this. Well, after seeing this, because we're going to see in words, let's check these parts. Okay. And this part, we use like the sentences, using a paragraph describing what you did. Now, here, and this part, flat. Could you tell me, for example, I will make you some questions, okay? Could you tell me, Chris, what are your hobbies? So you can list your hobbies.
Okay. I have many hobbies.
Yeah.
For example, I really like dancing. I enjoy when I go to the cinema, and I like read books, digital books, special. I enjoy when I learned new language. For example, when I study English, or I I enjoy when I study other language. For example, I studied German.
Yeah. Just that?
Yes.
Okay, perfect, excellent, excellent. So that's really great because you used examples and that's very good. You can mix the rising, the falling, so it is great, perfect. So using this like talking about options, could you tell me, for example, in your vacations, what kind of options do you have to go, to do, to travel, to cook, to eat? I don't know. What options do you have in vacations?
Okay, in vacation, I I can choose between travel or travel to Ambato or Cuenca
Okay.
because I live in Cuenca, but my family live in Ambato. In Ambato, for example, I I can choose um, mm, between visit Baños. Baños is a small town near to Ambato, or visit Manta. Manta is a big city on the coastal region in my country. In Baños, for example, I I can um, hiking or fishing or maybe visit the down the downtown. In Manta, I can swimming or um, swimming or um, hating sea food because it is near to the coast.
Excellent. Very good. Perfect. It is great. It is excellent. It is excellent, Chris. After this, well, I think in the next classes or after Model C, we are going to see how we can elaborate paragraphs, okay? When we are, for example, telling about something, we start with one paragraph, we start with the second, and always we finish like saying like finally or lastly, for example, but we're gonna see that in the next month, okay? It is great, it is great, perfect. With options, with lists, now, here. Let's see about this. What about syllables? Because it says like when we have just words, okay, we know that the word is like separated in syllables, right? It is separated in syllables, and we have to see, for example, how it is separated. Okay, so let's see this. When do we know how to read, for example, the words? We have some rules when we talk about the stressed and unstressed syllables. We have some rules. The first rule that we have, it is the first one. If the word is a two-syllable noun or adjective, but it has to be two syllables, okay? Which are the most common? It could be, for example, many adjectives, like short adjectives. Okay, it could be like places, animals, either, for example, objects. Okay, but always when we talk about two syllables. Words that are separated by two, for example, pizza, lazy, bottle, quiet, always we stressed in the first syllable. Okay, some people used to have the error to pronounce or to raise the intonation in the last syllable. For example, it's incorrect if we say pizza, lazy, bottle, quiet. For example, no. Always we rise in the first syllable. Pizza. I want pizza. Okay. So, or I feel like lazy. Okay. So, do you want bottle of water? Quiet. Like she's very quiet. Okay. So, always we used in these ones. Could you maybe give me a noun with two syllables? Another noun, Chris? It could be an animal. It could be an object.
Table.
Excellent. Table, right? So, an adjective?
Adjective. Easy.
Easy. Excellent. Very good. And finally, could you tell me like, well, an animal?
Mm, Mouse.
Yeah, excellent. Very good. Mouse, right? Excellent. So this is about two syllables. What happened if, for example, in many words where we have some endings, special endings, and these are the special endings in al, c, t, f, or g. The stress in these endings is going to fall, okay? In most of the cases, it is going to be like in the third position, three syllables, maybe. We were going to have like this. For example, genealogy, okay? So this is about, this is a noun, a word with three syllables. Gen, ology, genealogy. Okay, so we're not going to rise here because it could be like genealogy, or we're not going to rise at the end. Genealogy, no, always in the middle. Or when you have the endings. For example, when we have like this kind of syllables, and if we have like three, okay, always we are going to raise the voice, raise the intonation in the middle of the syllable. Genealogy, okay. In this case of law, as we have only three syllables, logical. When we have just three syllables, we always use at the beginning of the syllable. Logical. In this case, we have many. Genealogy. Four, right? In this case, we have just three. And always we start in the first syllable, the rise intonation, and the last one is going to have, it's going to be the fall intonation. Logical. In this case, we have like three syllables. Photography. Okay, we're going to say like photography. We don't say photography. We don't say photography. No, photography. Photography. Okay, so always at the middle. Now, with this, do you know other phrase that ends with some of this?
Yes. Biology.
Excellent. What else?
Mm, mm, I don't know.
Okay. It could be, for example, like city, right? City. It could be like, I don't know, with or yeah, there are many, many. For example, in numbers, all the numbers that ends in T, 50, 40, right? Yes, all the numbers with T. Great, it is great. Now, the other. It is when we have the endings, okay? Not always in endings. It could be like in the middle or, and the most common, yes, it's in the ending words. When we end in IC, shion, and R, or shion. We have this shion, we have this shion. So we're going to see that the stress is going to fall. Okay, usually falls on the next to the last syllable, it says. For example, here, attraction. So always that we have, it could be like 2 syllables, 3 syllables, 4, 5. Always, always, we are going to fall in the last syllable that it has these ones. And the syllable that it's going to be before this syllable, we are going to raise the intonation, okay? So attraction. We don't raise here because we don't have attraction. No, attraction. Fusion. Basic. Okay, so always this. Do you have another one with these ones? With IC, for example?
Mm, I see.
For example, música
Música.
in English.
Mm, no.
How can I say música in English?
Music.
Yes, music, right? So yeah, that's the thing. Excellent. With Shion, with this.
Passion. Passion.
Yeah, okay, great. Patient. Here with or.
Or.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, or. Mm, no.
Okay, with or. Yeah, there are not many words with or endings in or. Mm, no. Yeah, I can't remember any word with or. Ancient.
Temptation.
Yeah, great, perfect, excellent. So that is the thing about these ones. Okay. Now, what do we have after this? It is the last part. If a word is 2 syllables, we're going to come back to 2 syllables. If this word has 2 syllables, in these cases could be like a verb, or maybe a preposition, no more, because in this part was 2 syllables, but in nouns or adjectives, nouns, any noun or any object, and the adjective. But in this part, we have just the verb or preposition. In this case, what is it going to happen? And verbs or prepositions. We're going to use the stress, okay, or we're going to say that the stress usually is going to rise and the second syllable. Always in the second syllable, but when we talk about verbs or prepositions. For example, beside. So we have be, like fall, beside, okay, beside. Adapt. So we just like falling here, adapt. And adapt, it's the second syllable. Okay. Receive. Receive. 2 syllables. Okay. Always in English, we have to say, we have to know that we have to separate the syllables by using, for example, the pronunciation. In Spanish, it is really different because we know that we have like this. For example, okay, we have in Spanish, we separate the syllables by this, right? We have in, te, li, sorry, in Spanish, inteligente, right? So, gen, y aquí te. So, in Spanish, we separate by this. But in English, we can separate like this. For example, intelligent. We are going to separate in this way. In, tell, okay, in tell, in tell, here, in tell, we have like a middle of the subjects, the syllable here, telly, li, and here finally gent. So we can separate like 2 or 3 letters. For example, NT, no, he, no, li, just no, okay, el, and then no. In English, we're going to always separate by the pronunciation, okay? Intelligent. It could be like here 4 letters or 3 letters, but we separate by the pronunciation, okay? In Spanish, we separate by the letters. 2 letters, 2 letters, 3 letters, 2, 3, no more, right? But in English, no. So about this, do we have maybe some question, Chris?
No, Lord.
Okay, so how did you see this? How did you notice this pronunciation part about English?
Difficult. So difficult. Because I think it's really different between English and Spanish.
Yes, right. It is really, the pronunciation is really, really different. But as you could see this, you're going to help, you're going to really help with this because now you know how to use it, right? So now you have how to use it. Try always to see this first part when you are talking in your paragraphs. This part, when you end some sentences, try to fold the intonation in the last words, try to rise the intonation, and the last word when you are making questions, but just no questions with WH you fold. Try to feel this And you're going to get like it's going to be easy for you. And this if you practice with this. Okay, so I will send you this document also in order you could do it, you could have it. To give me a second, I will send you right now. And if you see some things, some new things in the platform about pronunciation, because there are many parts, and some other class in another extra grammar or these exercises, we're going to see the differences, for example, in these words like false friends, differences, for example. I think that we saw before, like when we had actually, and we confused that actualmente, right? So those are called false friends. We have the slangs, and the slangs, it is like a paragraph, no, not paragraph, it could be like a phrase or word that we translate in a different way, but it has another meaning. For example, if I tell you, come on, Chris, today I think that you are like, we could say like, I don't know, for example, today I see you, or I think that you look like a banana, but we can say like, bananas is a fruit, so why she's telling me a fruit? So no, bananas is an slang, means like similar to crazy, that something that you are not in your mind, so something like that. Okay, so we're gonna see this, and also we're gonna see some other structure, some other extra rules that we can't find in the book or in the platform. Okay, Chris?
Okay.
Perfectly. So today we're going to finish here. Give me a second. Okay, and okay, we're going to finish with this. And the next class, we're going to see the next unit. We have to go to unit 2. So try to do it all the tasks that I assigned you today, in order not to have like many things. Okay?
Okay.
If you have questions, just tell.
Okay, Lore, thank you.
Okay, Chris. Bye-bye, Chris.
Bye.
Bye.